The Law of Karma, Dhamma Practice Volume 10, when I studied with Luang Doem. I gave a massage to Luang every night, reading from the calendar Wat Ambawana. I gave a massage to Luang every night through the 6 months I was with him. Surprisingly, no other monks gave him a massage and asked for good things from him. It was like a Thai proverb, there is salt but you take alkali. One usually does not recognize the value of something near him, but I got quite a few good things from him. Now I regret that I did not know him much sooner. That is quite regrettable. The more I became engaged in talking with him, the further the thought of leaving the monkhood slipped away. Luang Doem seemed to know that I, compared to a wild horse, had been tamed. One day he started a conversation. Well, you have been with me for quite some time. Would you like to learn Vipassana meditation? I will teach you. Better not this robe. In the saffron robe, you would progress much more than being a layman. But I bore the thought of dislike for monks since I was a child. So I said, I would disrobe anyway, because I really do not like to remain in monkhood. I do not want this kind of life. I will leave. He gave me some sage advice, which I still remember to this day. The more you hate something, the nearer it is to you. The more you love something, the further it gets away from you. In fact, you have got to radiate loving kindness to those you hate. Then the hatred will disappear. This is where love turns up. He pointed at the heart and looked at me. I held my tongue. His words seeped down in my heart, and I realized how true they were. I hated women before, not liking them to enter the temple. But now, most of the people who come and help with the temple's affairs, taking care of people, are women. That is why they say, the more you hate something, the nearer it gets to you. Let me tell you a strange story. Among those who came to see Luang Doem, in addition to those who asked for sacred rings, sacred knives, and pieces, and cast images, there were also those who asked for his footprints. I myself rubbed his soles with indigo, put a white sheet of cloth on a pillow. He would print his feet on that cloth while blowing, blow good. Those who wanted that got it. So even his footprints were revered. That is the power of giving, morality and mental development. I still remember all those pictures vividly. Because of him, I did not get to leave the monkhood, marry, and have a family. He penetrated my mind deeply. About the footprints, Luang Doem further explained it. I made the footprints as a token to remind people that I am Luang Doem, who the king promoted to the title of Prakru Nivasadhamma Khanta, which means the state of virtues. I do not take from people. I help the remote and difficult areas progress. I do goodness so the religion can prosper. Once you get my footprints, I hope they remind you of my good deeds and that you will be encouraged to do good as I do. Dwell in goodness, good action, and good thought, and live by moral rules. That will make my footprints sacred. It is not like putting the cloth with my footprints on your head will protect you from gunshots. But nobody has asked me that. They just took the footprints and are gone. I was really touched by his words. Since I became ordained, Luang Doem is the only one who has given me that philosophy. I could say that the 6 months at Wat Nong Po turned me into a complete monk. The idea of leaving the monkhood was gone because Luang Po Doem had become my role model. He is incomparable to other immoral monks. They were like diamond and glass, totally different. Luang Po Doem added, "Listen to me carefully. 80% of people who come to this temple are foolish. They come only to get amulets. That is because they are still far from Dhamma. 20% come for the Dhamma, to talk to me about Dhamma. Only a few people asked me what you did. When asked, I would say, take my footprints. I am your preceptor, the monk you respect. I am not good in anything. I just do goodness. Take my footprints. Apprehend them, the meaning of my words. Follow my footsteps. Then you will thrive." Some people got my footprints but committed bad deeds, such as robbing people, stealing cattle. They got shot or killed. My footprints could not help them in any way because they did not follow me in a good way. They did the contrary, and what could they expect? That is Luang Po Doem's philosophy regarding the footprints that he left for the disciples to think about. After months with Luang Po Doem, I asked to leave for Wat Phrombuli. I planned to come back to Wat Nong Po later to disrobe. This time, he stared at me for a long time, as if he was penetrating my heart. Then he let out a big sigh, like he was relieved. He then said, "Do not go far away from me. I will let you be the first person to know that within no more than 3 months, I will pass away. Please do not stay away. This is the most important moment, remember." I was shocked. He was old, but he was not forgetful. That he would die and would leave this world was a big matter. At that time, the ecclesiastical province governor of Nakhon Sawan province, Luang Po Kan of Wat Khao Kaew, and the ecclesiastical district governor of Tha Tako district often came to see Luang Po at this temple. He did not mention his plan to pass away to any of them, only me. That was very kind of him. I persisted in asking him for the mantra to become Prince Charming. He kept teaching me philosophy. I wanted to disrobe but dared not insist. He sort of stopped me from that. Mostly he would say it was not an auspicious time. Finally, he surrendered and gave me a verse which is used by each of his disciples. It goes like this: Na, loving kindness; Mo, compassion; Put, kindness; Ta, rejoice; Ya, care for; Ma, is myself; A, is other beings; U, so they radiate loving kindness to me. Swaha. Namo Puttaya. When I got it, I felt so glad. I memorized it and looked forward to the time when I would get a chance to use it. But he still would not let me disrobe. There was no sign of that. I remember the mantra very well, but did not know that its concept lies in Vipassana meditation practice, because Vipassana meditation practice teaches us to develop loving kindness. We have got to be kind to each other. We need to see that everybody is like us. Without that, any mantra chanting would be a waste. When I seriously practiced Vipassana meditation after he was gone, it became clear to me how he taught me to always be kind. I kept thinking about disrobing until one day I decided it would be the day I would say goodbye to Luang Po. tell the benefactor that I was going to disrobe and hire someone to iron the lay clothing for me. I remember that I got a nice pair of pants and a shirt, a brand name Weiler watch, though not brand new, for it wasn't working, but it surely conformed to the fashion of that time. I was quite fashionable before getting ordained. That night, after the clothes has been ironed, I gave him a massage and was about to tell him I would leave the next day. Before I could say anything, he revealed to me an untold statement that left me stunned and speechless for a while. He said it plainly. Well, I will tell you something that I have never told anybody. I will only let you know and do not tell anybody, or people will get demoralized. In 15 days, I will die. Remember. Then he went on. I would also like to pass on a piece of my knowledge. You would be the first and the last to get it. I think you are the most suitable. I was pleased to hear that because I was expecting to get a great mantra that would invite an amulet to protect you. Unexpectedly, he said, the knowledge that I am going to give you is elephant science, how to attract wild elephants, tame those that go wild, and take care of them. This science needs a person with perfections. I see that you can take it on, so I will give this science to you. I learned it from my grandparents. When my ancestors obtained wild animals for kings, my great-grandparent once told me that he obtained 2 white elephants in Kampang Phet province. These were presented to the king of Ayutthaya then, and they became one of the gems of the kingdom. On hearing that, I said to him frankly, No, thank you, Luang Po. I have never thought of obtaining this kind of knowledge. I prefer the charming mantras, which I can use with girls, or mantras that bring in amulets into myself. Just then, he changed from a lying position to a sitting position. He pointed at my face and used a powerful voice, and what he said to me resonated in my heart. Look, I will tell you what. You are young, much less senior. A senior person is giving you something. Just take it. Why are you refusing it? Do not be so arrogant, silly. I said, but why do we have to catch wild elephants? They live in the wilderness, and when they go wild, it is their business. I think that this country has been developed so much that we do not need to use wild elephants anymore. Luang Po Doem gave me a sound advice that made me speechless. He really knows how to handle the situation. He asked, Tell me, which is better, having 1 shirt or having 10 shirts? Certainly having 10 shirts will do. Right, you can just iron them and hang them up. It is easy to pick one up at a time to wear. There is no need to iron the only one we have when we want to use it. Whatever parents and grandparents give to you, keep it. It will be useful in the future. I did not want it at all. I did not want to learn it. I only wanted to leave. I told him frankly, I do not want to learn. I am disrobing today or tomorrow. Why should I learn about it? I am asking to leave. Luang Po Doem let out a big sigh and said, Listen up. Adults see much further than young people. They do not just talk. I am giving you this knowledge in return for your service. I have never given it to anybody. I have never taught anybody, people in Nong Po or elsewhere. I want you to keep the knowledge so it does not die away with me. Do you understand? With those words, I could only keep still. which meant that I accepted his words. Then he told me to go to bed and that he would start teaching me the next day.